Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Tao of Lloyd. I'm your host, Lloyd Dobler. And if you're asking yourself how a Gen X icon is now a 50-something dude with podcasts spinning in this microwave of manifest destiny, a work of fiction, admittedly, intersecting with your very real doom scroll. All I'll say for now is that we're only on episode 2 of this project, and I went over all of that in the opening of episode 1, so you might want to check that out. Go ahead. We'll be right here when you get back. Welcome back. So, let's just dive in, shall we? Our story this week concerns the anti-ICE movement, although it surely will apply to many chapters in this Trump 2.0 era. The protesters in Los Angeles have been labeled insurrectionists by Stephen Miller, by Pete Hegseth, and none other than the king of truth social himself, where fascism meets font size 72. And if anyone knows from insurrection, it's Trump. I mean, he started one, lit the match, and blamed the smoke on Antifa. He live tweeted January 6th. He refused to call in the National Guard while a gallows was set up for his Vice President Mike Pence, and then, unable to resist an alliteration staring him right in the face, that fascist frat boy pardoned the Proud Boys like the carnival barker with the nuclear codes that he is. But I digress. Back to the battle for Los Angeles. Right on cue. Creepy Caroline Leavitt stepped up to the mic at the Kool-Aid conference to spin the protests as violent riots led by illegal criminals. And by Kool-Aid conference, yes, I mean those White House press briefings. America's least comforting fireside chat, delivered by a ventriloquist Barbie possessed by the love child of Ayn Rand and Macho Man Randy Savage on a 5-hour energy bender. Because nothing says constitutional crisis like teenagers in Dodgers hats handing out water bottles. But according to the White House, Los Angeles didn't have a protest. It had an invasion. And the solution? Roll out the National Guard and the Marines like it's an Uber Eats order for martial law. That's not public safety. That's a hostile takeover. The last time this happened, the last time a president federalized troops and sent them in against the wishes of the governor of that state, 1965. Lyndon Johnson sent troops to Alabama not to attack people, but to protect black folks who were marching for civil rights. This time, Trump's sending troops to crackheads, not protect them. And somewhere, Nixon's ghost just unzipped his flag pants and whispered, "Atta boy." This isn't law and order. It's monarchy in a MAGA hat and a TikTok riot staged for white suburban fear clicks. This battle in Los Angeles is what Trump wants. Because fear is the fuel, chaos is the cover, and a riot on live TV, that's campaign gold in a collapsing empire. Trump doesn't want order. He wants optics. He wants flashbangs and helicopters and ICE agents in Oakleys dragging brown bodies onto buses so he can splice it into a hype reel that screams law and order while dog whistling white and afraid. This isn't about national security. It's about narrative control. Give the people a villain. Make it brown. Make it loud. Make it burn. Then sell them the solution. Hockey goons who never made it to the NHL wrapped in tactical gear, face masks, and wielding no-knock warrants like they are the Terminator at a silent yoga retreat. That's the play. That's the pattern. Create the crisis, criminalize the resistance, profit from the policing. Namaste, Motherfascists. Okay. Now, I know you might be saying, thanks, Lloyd. Namaste, Motherfascists. That's cute. It surely is going to make for a strongly worded Blue Sky post that no one will read, but what am I really supposed to do with all of this rage? And that's a totally fair question, friends. That's why I meditate. Now, meditation won't stop the riot cops. I mean, maybe it will, but let's just, for sake of argument, it won't. But it will stop you from becoming one. So, let's just do a short meditation together. Find your comfort. You can be standing or sitting. Whatever you want, be comfortable. Feel your body against the ground. Take a long, slow, deep breath in, breathing in the here and now. And then take a long, slow exhale, breathing out the then and the there. Again, long, slow, deep breath in.
And from local news to national news, President Donald Trump is sending hundreds of Marines to Los Angeles amid protests against these immigration raids. And the president says he is open to the idea of arresting California Governor Gavin Newsom.
Oh, that posse comitatus flouting, golden toilet stroking testicle clamp in a red tie is deploying Marines to L.A. while prepping tanks for a birthday parade in D.C. because nothing gets grandmas out into the streets to scream "No Kings" like a fascist float with missile launchers. Okay, I mean, that meditation got away from me a little bit. Let's try again. Long, slow, deep breath in, breathing in a world without borders, and then exhale, breathing out your social conditioning. Breathe in.
After another night of skirmishes between protesters and police, 700 active duty Marines are joining the effort to quell the violence that erupted over the weekend in downtown Los Angeles, sent there by President Trump.
I think it would have been a very bad situation. It was heading in the wrong direction. It's now heading in the right direction.
The right direction? That's not the direction. That's a major plot point in season 2 of Andor. And this is not a galaxy far, far away. It's downtown LA. And Californians, okay, here's how you get there, okay? Traffic's crazy, so listen up. You're gonna get on Ocean Avenue and head south, but like not too south, or you're gonna end up in Venice, where someone will absolutely try to sell you a zine about lizard people. Then you take a sharp right on Pico, but only after you pass that organic market. You know, the one where you once saw James Woods buying mushroom jerky and muttering something about Alex Jones being misunderstood. Yeah, that one. So you stay on Pico for like a while. You'll pass 3 yoga studios and a reality TV museum where you can really trace a straight line from Puck on MTV's The Real World blowing up reality TV to Trump on The Apprentice to Trump the dictator with a Diet Coke button. Not even kidding. You can go from MTV's The Real World to the White House in 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon style separation.
You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
Will you please be quiet? I'm giving directions here. Okay, Californians, hop on the 10 East, but whatever you do, do not take the 405. Unless you want to spend the rest of your natural life behind a guy blasting Joe Rogan through a Bluetooth speaker and vaping freedom-flavored nicotine through a snorkel. Once you're on the 10, stay chill. You're going to pass Crenshaw, you're going to pass Vermont, then you're going to pass birtherism, lock her up, grab him by the pussy, and that time we all thought, surely this is the end of the campaign. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. Take 110 North, and then when you hit downtown, you're going to want to get off at 6th Street, but like just before the billboard for the medical ketamine that looks like a rejected NFT project. That's your sign. From there, hang a left. Avoid the valet, unless you want to get judged by a guy named Bryce who calls everything late capitalism but still leases a Tesla. And instead, join the radically chill, beautifully pissed off anti-ICE protesters. And boom, you're in downtown LA, baby, both spiritually and geopolitically. Okay, one more little bit of meditation to think through, and this is a tough one, I'm going to admit. Breathe in the idea that we are all one. Breathe out the need to win. Do your work, then step back. The only path to serenity. That's not me talking, that's the Tao. And here, we might pause to consider two things, both chapter 34 of the Tao Te Ching and the lyrics from a song called The Guillotine by Boots Riley and the Coup. First, chapter 34 of the Tao. The great Tao flows everywhere. All things are born from it, yet it doesn't create them. It pours itself into its work, yet it makes no claim. It nourishes infinite worlds, yet it doesn't hold on to them. Since it is merged with all things and hidden in their hearts, it can be called humble. Since all things vanish into it and it alone endures, it can be called great. It isn't aware of its greatness. Thus it is truly great. That's the Tao, chapter 34. And that's what it means to remember. We're all playing roles in the same field. And sometimes, like Arjuna, you look around that field and realize your enemies are your kin. You see, Arjuna, the central human character in the Bhagavad Gita, and I know I'm jumping around a little bit here, is a warrior prince. If you don't know, think elite soldier with a conscience. He's about to go into battle against his own family, teachers, friends, and just before the fight starts, he has a full-on existential meltdown. He's like, why am I doing this? Is any of this worth it? What kind of a victory leaves you with your loved ones dead in the dirt? And that's when his charioteer, who just happens to be Krishna, aka God in disguise, gives him the cosmic pep talk. The result? The Bhagavad Gita, a spiritual manual for action without ego. Krishna tells him, you are not your fear. You are not your ego. You are your purpose. Show up, act with integrity, and let go of the outcome. Or to bring us back to present day, Los Angeles, and again, as promised, frame it through the lens of the ever so catchy words of Boots Riley and the Coos song, The Guillotine. They got the TV and we got the truth. They own the judges and we got the proof. We got hella people, they got helicopters, they got the bombs, and we got the guillotine. We got the guillotine, you better run. Don't talk about it. It's not a show. Be about it. It's about to blow. That's the moment that Arjuna's in. That's the moment that we're in. But instead of the city of Kurukshetra, which, according to the Hindu tradition, is where Lord Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita to the warrior Arjuna right before the battle began, it's a protest line by Dale's Donuts, lit by squad car LEDs and the smell of pepper spray. Instead of chariots, it's riot gear and tactical vans. Instead of Krishna, maybe it's you. Breathing through your panic attack, trying to decide if you're going to keep your head down or stand the hell up. And here's what the Gita and the Coos song, The Guillotine, have in common. They're both saying, this is not a spectator sport. You don't have to be violent. You don't have to be a martyr. But you do have to choose. And choosing to show up, to get in the way, to stop the harm, even if you're scared, that's spiritual. That's Dharma. You want a practice? Here's one. Refuse. Refuse to dehumanize anyone, even your enemy. Refuse to let power turn you into a copy of itself. Refuse to forget that every person on that field is a soul playing a part. But don't forget, some of them are wearing the boots. All the world's a stage. all the men and women merely players, etc., etc. And this is where it gets tricky, because you can love the soul in someone while blocking their legislation, while dismantling their system, and while pulling their badge, pulling their masks off, and doxing them. That's not hypocrisy, that's clarity. Like Ram Dass said, my old friend Ram Dass said, we're all just walking each other home. And home, it's the source. It's the part of you that isn't fooled by the costume, the badge, the job title, or the protest sign. Because we're all in drag, playing roles, running scripts. But beneath it, one light, one source, one home. And sometimes love means walking someone home by standing in their way. Sometimes love means flipping the riot shield with one hand and handing out snacks with the other like some socialist PTA on Judgment Day. Sometimes love means pulling your grandma out of a Fox News trance with a well-timed Namaste, grandmother fascist. Sometimes love means sabotaging the surveillance drone with a disco ball and a copy of the Communist Manifesto on cassette chucked into the night. Sometimes love means throwing your body between a badge and a child while whispering, "You're safe. I got you. They're not the future. We are." And sometimes love means standing so still, so grounded, that even the popo feel the tremor of their own conscience. So yes, pray, meditate, march. But if you find yourself marching without love, or praying without courage, or meditating to check out instead of to check in, you're just rearranging cushions in a burning house. This moment doesn't need a perfect person. It needs a present one, a conscious one. Someone who can bow to the soul in their enemy while standing in the way of their empire. All right, so now what? So you meditate, you march, you hold the line, you hold the door, you hold your grandma's hand when she asks if ICE is really just doing their job, and you say, "No, Grandma, they're not. They're getting paid, yeah, but their job, like your job and my job, is to wake up from the illusion of separateness, not to turn due process into a disappearing act with zip ties." What else do? We stay awake. We stop asking empire to like us. If you work for ICE or any agency Trump can weaponize, you look yourself in the mirror and you ask yourself if you can quit. You help someone else do the same thing. Because if the system that runs on cruelty and consent, and it does, then sacred refusal is a supply chain interruption. And every act of refusal ripples, like that Bobby Kennedy quote, ripples of hope, building currents which can sweep down the mightiest walls of oppression like a Molotov of memory lobbed into the consciousness of a 21st century Gestapo in wraparound shades and ice jackets. So be the glitch. Be the voice that says, "Not in my name, not on my watch." Be like water that feeds the roots but doesn't ask for the credit. Be power that doesn't posture, just flows, feeds, and refuses to disappear. And show up, everybody, like a subpoena at a war profiteer's birthday party. Let's begin from the edge of the empire and the center of the self. You have been listening to the Tao of Lloyd. Okay, friends, last sign off as a new podcast. We really need your help in growing this thing. So at the website, Tao of Lloyd, that's T-A-O of Lloyd.com, you're going to find all the links to all the social media pages, and you'll be able to sign up for our email list. And I only send out one email per week just to stay in touch, stay connected. And also, you're going to find there links to the Apple Podcast and the Spotify versions of the show, where I hope that you go and you rate, and even more importantly, write a little short review of this show, because that is one algorithm that we have to feed if we're going to spread the message of the show, which I hope that you want to do. Until next week, peace.